So before we continue to the next sounds, I'd like to do one exercise now that you've stretched out your mouth and have done some articulation work with the jaw. Notice that there are certain sounds that you can now say perhaps a little bit better. Some of them are the vowels and some are also consonants. So let's start with a word like concept. Notice that N that requires the muscle below the nose and above the lip. Concept. You get a much better N when you can move that muscle. Now try project. Project. Tongue goes back. Project. Notice when the tongue's stretched out how much easier it is to say that word. Follow through. Now the L uses this muscle after the vowel, follow, and through uses that tongue going back, and then make sure the tongue continues upward as you say Don't let the tongue be lazy and say roo. Follow through. You want follow through. And with the band for length, follow through. Let's try another word just for fun to practice this a bit. That's the word transitional. You have a little bit of a buzz on that Z, and the N is really long. And let's look at the word stress. Transitional. Breath, exhale, and elongate on the Z. Transitional. You can get a lot of breath on the Z and the sh. You'll make the word perfectly. Transitional. Now try experimentation. Experimentation. Notice you have lots going on there. There's the R. Men, there's the N. Tation. You have an airflow sound and another N. Experimentation. Notice it's all coming together now. And then try the word analyze. Notice how long the first syllable is, and notice that N with this muscle moving. Analyze with breath. Analyze. Now let's move on and try some new sounds. We've been talking about the TH, but we haven't done much with it. So there is both a voiced and a voiceless TH sound. I'll be talking a little bit later about voice onset timing, or VOT, which has to do with starting with a voiceless sound, migrating to a voice sound, and then finishing with a voiceless sound. But I mention it because with the TH, there is some of this where you have a little bit of a voiceless quality on a voiced sound, just to make it smoother and more breathy. Let's do that with the th sound. Now this TH sound, as we worked with earlier, is where the tongue doesn't drop in the middle. Monitor with your mirror, make sure your tongue is doing this. It should be moving. It can also go out and in like this. And it's more challenging in the middle of a word. So let's work with both. At the beginning of a word like thanks, theory, and when that R comes in, you really need to watch your breath. Theory. If you find this challenging, make sure you complete the and hear it. And if you don't hear it, record yourself. Complete the before you do the ear. Eerie. Theory. All is one unit. Theme. Again, using this muscle, but the lips touch on the M. Theme. And now let's put it in the middle of the word. You need lots of breath for this. Authority. He's an authority figure. She's an authority figure. Now try authorize. They didn't authorize it. Who authorized it? Notice how long that sound is. If you hear yourself saying authorize, that sounds to an American air like a T. So you want to elongate with breath and monitor the tongue movement. Back and forth, lots of friction. Authorize. Remember, you can't make the sound too long, so it's okay to make it lengthy. Authorize. But you can make it too short. Authorize. Too short. Exhaling now. Authenticity. Ticity. And notice the word stress. Authenticity. Lots of breath on the th and the s. Authenticity. Now try a sentence. Theo is the authority on authenticity. Theo, that's someone's name. Theo is the authority. It's like a wave of breath. Theo is the authority on authenticity. Theo is the authority on authenticity. Continuing to breathe, thanks to Theo, we can authorize it nice and long. Thanks to Theo, we can authorize it. Really breathe and exhale. Now again, if you're feeling dizzy at all, a little bit lightheaded, stop and rest, take a break, and come back. Don't pass out. We don't want that to happen. Continuing now with the voice TH, you want a little bit of a buzz. But as I mentioned earlier, you don't need to start with a buzz. You can start with the voiceless and migrate towards the buzzy like this. Let's try that. These, those, them. Now put it in the middle of the word, which we already know is tougher. Other. I'd like another one. Now notice here, you don't want a strong like another. You want to soften it with breath. Another one. Together. Let's do it together. They'd rather do it together another time. Another time can be a little shorter with time in there. Again, we're varying the pace, but we want breath on all the sounds. They'd rather do it together another time. Now let's put sounds together and monitor the VOT. We'll have some voiceless TH and some voiced. The more you practice the sound, the easier it gets. So don't hesitate to keep making the th and the th sound if that's your goal. It will get better as you practice, record, and listen back. So now let's try the two sounds together. Although they'd rather do it together, Theo will have to think about it another time. Although they'd rather do it together, Theo will have to think about it another time. Notice we have time in there, which is a plosive, t, so it's another time. Think about the rhythm and the timing. Just think about the theme thoroughly. Just think about the theme thoroughly. Another 33,000 times. Another 33,000 times. Just think about the theme thoroughly another 33,000 times. Notice how smooth and breathy your speech can become when you can control for the R and get lots of breath. One more sentence. They'd rather think about the other theme another 33,000 times. They'd rather think about the other theme another 33,000 times. Keep practicing and putting these techniques together, and you will achieve breakthrough breathing.